So I'd like to contest this in the actual correct way.
Hey everybody, I have no patience.
Me neither.
For the lies that are being told.
Me neither, Charlie.
About this Breonna Taylor.
Me neither. Yeah, let's get to the facts, Charlie.
There now are anarchists, BLM Incorporated, and Democrats that are marching in the streets trying to advocate for justice for Breonna Taylor.
Good. God forbid people are protesting in the streets to advocate for the killing of an American citizen by police officers whose job it is to protect American citizens. Wow. Imagine being upset by that. I couldn't.
Senator Harris, who will never be...
I don't care about Senator Harris.
States, says her family deserves justice.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, let's actually go over the facts.
Let's go. Let's do it, bud.
So, as background, there is an individual...
that
was by the name of Jamarcus Glover.
Sure.
This was Breonna Taylor's ex-boyfriend. She
was
knee-deep in crime with Jamarcus Glover. In fact,
so here's my thing, and I just want to get a foundational. If a father commits a crime, should the son be charged for the crime? Should they be complicit? No. I get it. She was dating him. Maybe the speculation that she was mailing drugs was there. I don't know. It's not supported by the facts. But, like, now she's guilty by association with her ex-boyfriend. Her ex-boyfriend. Like, the boyfriend she's no longer dating. Right? Is that what we're talking about?
To use Breonna Taylor's address.
Oh, really?
For delivery.
Did he? That's weird because the post office confirmed they never even checked to see. They never checked her packages whatsoever. And the warrant said that they had. And they lied about it and signed off on it. So even if it's true, why the didn't they check? This should have been an easy check, no? Should have been pretty easy to check, like, maybe she is. Let's start monitoring her postage. Oh, but they didn't do that. So they didn't, despite the fact that they had the ability to do so very easily. You know why? Because the government runs the post office and the police department, just so you know. So they had the ability to do it. They lied about that doing it on their warrant, and that's how they got into the house. But a lie. They lied to get the warrant. And you're going to sit here and say that it's a fact? These are supposed to go through the facts, Charlie.
He was arrested in a no-knock warrant.
Okay, yeah, he was being arrested like at the same time. And then she was getting arrested on a no... By the way, no-knock warrants are... I don't care. And she was also has a no-knock warrant against her based on a lie, an objective lie. So it should be invalidated instantly. But okay, and her ex, yeah.
Breonna Taylor was in business with her ex-boyfriend.
Prove it. Where are the facts? Prove it. Just prove it. They lied on the warrant. So there's absolutely, that's a completely unsubstantiated claim that you're making.
Marcus Glover. So there was another warrant that was issued, a no-knock warrant to go arrest.
Based on a lie. Let's just continuously enforce the idea that the warrant was based on the lie that she was helping peddle drugs through the mail. And the lie specifically is that the post office said that they reviewed it, like they were monitoring her packages, and they never did. It's a lie. The warrant's a lie. It's based off of a lie, a false narrative. That's the facts.
Breonna Taylor had her name on it.
Great.
So they go to her residence and they knock.
I don't care if they knock.
Knocked, even though it was a no-knock raid.
Yeah, I don't care. You want to know why they knocked, by the way? It's because they were told to knock because it was an incredibly low-priority no-knock raid. And we knocked on the door and then we barged in. Let's say that's true, right? Because I don't believe that that's true because I feel like if they knocked if they had knocked and announced themselves, which I don't believe that they did, then the boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, wouldn't have shot at them. But let's say I'm wrong because people are telling me that apparently the neighbors heard them knock. Fine. You know what? Let's say they knock. Let's say they announced themselves. They weren't wearing police uniforms. Why would you're just expected to trust somebody who's like, hey, I'm a cop. I'm in my street clothes. I don't have a body camera on, but I'm a cop. So trust me. Fuck you. Honestly, fuck that. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, dude? Let's just talk about the fact that police officers are here to protect us, not to rule us. Okay? I'm not going to be like, yeah, you're a cop. You have no uniform on? Come on in, bro. Come on in. You're knocking? Come on in. Are you kidding me? What kind of honestly, I'm not trying to be all weird and dated on my ideas. What kind of a man would you be to allow a stranger that's does not have a police uniform into your fucking house? And we're not even talking about they were sleeping. They might have gotten woken up, but they were sleeping. What did they knock for like a minute? Imagine being in a deep sleep, somebody banging on your door, and you wake up, you're like, what the fuck's going on? All of a sudden somebody barges in. I doubt that they announced, even if they knocked. And you're supposed to be like, oh my God, let me get on the floor for these police officers. Bro, I would take my gun and I would start shooting at them. I don't care. By the way, his legally obtained firearm. Let's keep that in mind. You know, because Second Amendment rights are great until it doesn't help you, right, Charlie? God forbid, like in this, well, he had a legal firearm, but I want to side with the police regardless of the facts. And then I want to present the facts in a very disingenuous way.
So they go into her home because there was no answer after they knocked.
What time was the warrant? Imagine working as an EMT all day, underpaid, and you're just sleeping. And someone's like, you should have really got up when the police that weren't identified as police knocked. Oh, yeah. She was a EMT, bro. She was an employed EMT, a thankless job, bro. And no, we don't care. We don't care because we have to protect the police at all costs.
And the police were shot at.
Right. This gets me right here. Yeah? What's the criminal charge?
Walker.
Yeah.
Walker
he started to shoot. He was a criminal, guys. Let's get to why he's a criminal. I would like to know how he's a criminal, Charlie. I would like to know how somebody with a legal firearm is a criminal. Because one of two things exist. Either one, he was a criminal. Either one, he had a legally obtained firearm and he's not a criminal and you're full of shit. Or two, he was a criminal and he somehow still had a legally obtained firearm that he should not have had. So, based on your own logic, you believe that there's some kind of gun reform that we need to do? No? At the very least, active criminals who are convicted cop killers or charged cop killers, they shouldn't have a gun. Right, Charlie?
To shoot at the police and shot Sergeant Mattingly in the leg.
I'm not even trying to be an asshole here. I respect the police department, but if he shot him in the head, wouldn't necessarily. I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick, but based on the situation I was in, if a bunch of men that were were completely unmarked barged into my house while I was sleeping, I would be shooting too. So I don't see the empathy there. I know it's a tough take. I'm not anti-cop in any capacity. There are good cops, but this whole situation stinks. It's just reeks of fucking bullshit.
Unfortunately, and tragically...
Well, wait, you still haven't got to the part where Kenneth Walker's a criminal. Can you get to that part?
Breonna Taylor got caught in the crossfire. She was not in her bed, however.
Who cares? I don't care.
In the hallway.
Oh, wow. Well, that means she deserves to die, right?
So after this, the police return fire back and forth.
Right.
And Breonna Taylor passes away.
Yeah, she just passed away. She didn't die from bullet wounds from being shot at 25 times.
That's not an outcome that I think anyone would defend. However,
you are. You think you're doing a good job of being that doesn't. This is I hate the double talk. It's this is indefensible. But here are the reasons why it was okay that she died. Get ready.
This was not as if they walked into a random apartment or the police strolled up to a random person on the side of the street, execution style.
No, they got a no-knock warrant, which is bullshit in itself, based on a lie that the post office was checking her mail and that they found drugs in the mail. And that was an emphatic lie. That's the problem with the warrant.
To kill this individual. Breonna Taylor was dating a criminal, Kenneth Walker, who decided to shoot at the police.
This is what gets me. His entire argument is that Kenneth Walker's a criminal, right? Okay, here's the timeline. Kenneth Walker's not a criminal. He shoots back at cops, standing his ground. Now he's a criminal. She wasn't dating a criminal. She was dating a guy who shot back at people that he didn't know were cops. And now he's a criminal. He's an alleged cop killer. Wow, imagine the police doing the wrong thing and then trying to cover it up.
And so
by the way, where are the body cams? Let's just keep reinforcing that.
Grand jury poured over this information. People are outraged. They say they're only tried with reckless endangerment. That's probably a correct indictment for one of the police officers for endangering some of the other individuals in apartments that were adjacent. However, do you think for a second if there was evidence for this grand jury to proceed with a murder indictment that they wouldn't have done that?
Bro, I said it before, I'll say it again. The DA is always going to lay with the cops as much as they can because it's just better for them from their perspective. They work closely together. It hurts relations if they don't. The DA is always going to be biased towards the police department, and the police department is always going to push some bullshit narrative of stick to your own. Yeah, legally, what they did, very easy to explain. I mean, I don't really get it because the body cam thing gets me. I mean, I think that they should all be. I think that there should be a much bigger issue. The body cams, bro. Where the are the body cams, and why are they? Why were they not in police uniforms? No knock warrant aside, why aren't they in police uniforms? I don't get it. It's just fucking outrageous to me. Like, just based on that, man. If you walked into a restaurant and some dude in fucking street clothes like, oh, how may I help you? I'm your waiter. I'd say, no, you're not. Go, leave me alone. So if the standard for the waiter needs to be inside of a uniform, why is that standard not carried over to police when there was a low priority warrant, by the way, which was based on a lie?
You see, this grand jury was under such public pressure to go and proceed with that sort of indictment for murder, and they didn't because the facts did not warrant it.
They didn't. They didn't because of the bullshit laws in place and the fact that people are fine with police officers not having any level of transparency.
Before you continue to
body cams,
wear Breonna Taylor's name on your helmet, or you have a shirt that says Breonna Taylor, know the facts of the case.
You didn't present like any facts, Charlie. What are you saying? You're a liar. You didn't present the facts.
That she was involved in a drug trafficking criminal scheme.
Prove it. Again, I'm going to keep saying it every time it comes up. The warrant was based on a lie.
That she was dating a attempted cop killer, Kenneth Walker.
Yeah. Okay, again, let's establish again. She wasn't dating an attempted cop killer. She was dating a man who is now charged with attempted cop killing after the police broke into the house. Even if they were 100% in the right, he's not a cop killer. He thought that they were intruders. I believe him because no-knock warrants are absolute fucking bullshit. So he's not a cop killer. You're doing everything in your power to diminish this man, and you're not presenting it contextually accurately. You're not saying, yeah, now he's an attempted cop killer afterwards. No, you're trying to make it seem like he's an attempted cop killer before the cops barged in. But somehow he got a legal firearm. So wrap that one around your fucking head, Charlie. Explain that to me, please.
And her ex-boyfriend was Jamarcus Glover. Not exactly involved with the best people in society. This is the same as Jacob Blake. People,
I don't care. Like this. Like, listen, I'm not wholly educated on Jacob Blake, so I'm not going to give my detailed report on it here. Okay, I'm not going to speak out of turn. But now he's just stacking. He's like, look at all these people that there's like Black Lives Matter, but they're all thugs and criminals. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing.
Oh, we must remember Jacob Blake. Really, Jacob Blake was accused.
By the way, he was accused. I'm not going to get into it, but like, you're innocent until proven guilty, no? If not, then like, what happened during the Kavanaugh situation? Kavanaugh is guilty now because he was accused. I'm not trying to be an asshole. It's just the reality of the situation, okay?
We're supposed to believe all women.
What are you talking? Yeah, we should believe all women. So Breonna Taylor, we should believe her when she says we shouldn't die. You're just rhetoric, all chain rhetoric.
So before we start to create these nationwide emotive, quasi-pathological campaigns around unjust police killings, Breonna Taylor would still be alive if her boyfriend and her lover, Kenneth Walker, didn't try to kill a police officer.
Her boyfriend, she'd be alive. So you see how he's like, it's a disgusting situation, but she deserved it. That's what he just said. Like a minute ago, he's like, this is an unjust, nobody would defend this. And now he just said that it was okay that she was killed. That's what it's called, justifying death. He's justifying her death. I just want you to know that he's doing that right now. It's disgusting. Are you kidding me? This is really, I'm trying not to lose my shit right now. I'm really trying not to lose my shit right now. I don't understand. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't understand. I really just don't understand how we can live in a nation, the greatest nation in the entire fucking world, solely on the premise that we are, as a first world country, one of the most mixed places. We're doing something that's so fucking hard. We are tribalistic by nature, and we're succeeding to an extent at mixing different races and cultures and ethnicities and skin colors. And an American citizen fucking killed by people whose job it is to defend American citizens. And you made a video about how she fucking deserved it. There's no way to look at this situation from any political perspective and say that the police are 100% in the right. The police lied about how they got the warrant. And that led to a woman's death. An American citizen's death. Doesn't matter that she's black or a woman. Nothing matters. It matters that she's an American citizen. And Charlie Kirk is constantly talking about how we need patriotism back. But the second that it doesn't fit your narrative, she's not an American citizen. She's a criminal and a thug. And so is the boyfriend that was standing his ground. A man who had a legally obtained firearm. I don't care that he's a black man, or even that he's a man. An individual with a legally obtained firearm defending what he thought was a home invasion. But fuck him because he's a cop killer now, right?
Now, I'm not defending the fact that Breonna Taylor passed away in the...
You just did. You just told her that she fucking deserved to die because her boyfriend stood his ground. That's what you said, because he stood his ground and she was peddling drugs, despite the fact that both of those narratives are fucking false. And now you're going to say, oh, well, it wasn't her fault. You can't play both games. Either you think she deserved to die or not. That's all you get. You don't get to play this bullshit game where you think that, where you say both at the same time. You outwardly are saying she doesn't deserve to be killed, but then everything you say points to that you think that it was justifiable.
Lost fire. But this idea that the police officers went out of their way to go murder Breonna Taylor while she was in her bed, when she was in the hallway, is nonsense.
It's nonsense? Listen, I don't think the police officers walked in there expecting to, like, love to kill a person. No. But did they go out of their way? Did the police department go out of their way to get this warrant based on a lie, which I would assume is illegal? Yes. Okay? The warrant said that she was trafficking drugs through mail, right? And it said that they had proof of that. It said that the post office checked and they saw it. And the post office said, no, we didn't. Haha, just kidding. And it was still signed off. That's a lie. That's all. You lied about it. How is this not something that gets you? The police fucked up and a woman is dead. That's what I care about. And if you don't think that in some capacity this is indicative of some kind of fucking police brutality or just some way that the police need to better themselves, you're a moron. I don't care if this isn't about conservative or progressive or moderate or independent or Republican or a Democrat. I don't understand. I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
Knocked, even though they
I don't care. I don't care. Where the fuck are the body cams and why weren't they in uniforms? I don't care that they knocked. I don't care if a guy in a fucking street clothes knocked on my door and said he's a police officer. I don't give a shit. It means nothing to me. It means absolutely nothing to me.
Know the facts.
Just like if I was at a fucking restaurant and the waiter was wearing street clothes, I wouldn't let him serve me. And everybody's with me on that. So why do we have higher standards for fucking waiters and waitresses than we do for police officers? I don't understand.
Don't get angry just because the media tells you. And stand with our police officers. The police officers acted correctly in this situation.
No, but this is my thing. I'm not mad because of the media, Charlie. I'm mad because of you. I don't look at news sources to rile myself up. I looked at your video, and then I went and I educated myself on the facts from a news source that's relatively objective, ABC News, which is a rather good, unbiased source. And everything that you said was a lie. You misrepresented the situation to fit a narrative that allowed you to justify the murder, or the killing. Excuse me, I don't want to say murder incorrectly, right? Because it technically wasn't a murder, because technically murder is an illegal killing, right? So I don't want to be contextually inaccurate, even though I'm talking to somebody who says abortion is murder. And I don't care if you're pro-life or pro-choice, but based on the law, based on the definition of murder, it's legal. If it's a legal killing, it's not murder. So this was a legal killing, just in the same way that abortion is legal killing. So I got to make sure that I stay accurate, because I have to hold myself to a higher standard than Charlie Kirk. That's what I need to do. That's how I have to operate.
And if they're going to burn down another city around this, we should not tolerate this anymore. Stand the line with truth. Hold the line with truth, I should say.
The entire time during the George Floyd situation, I was really one of the only people that was saying, listen, I don't think that this was police. I don't think that this was like racially motivated, but it was indicative of some kind of police brutality. And like, I was always like, listen, the riots, like, they shouldn't be happening. I think it's hurting their cause. I don't think that they should be doing it. And I still want to, I told true to that logically, but emotionally, I haven't been this outraged in a very long time. And I'm not even as close. I'm not connected to this in the way that the people in that community are. And so for me not to understand if they did burn down cities, that would be disgusting of me.
Because these people want to burn.
Who are these? Who are these people? Who are these people? Who the fuck are these people? Black people? Progressives? Who are these people? It sounds like a dance around. I hate it. I hate that I'm in this position right now because I constantly talk about how I hate fucking identity politics. I think it's disgusting. I think it's disingenuous, and I think it's divisive. And here we are with Charlie Kirk saying these people want to burn down cities because a black woman was killed. And of course, who else are you going to be referring to other than black people? These people? Give me a break.
Breonna Taylor was involved in a criminal drug trafficking ring.
No evidence that even there's no confirmed evidence of that. Just show me. I'm going to say it every single time you lie about it that the warrant was based on a lie.
Her ex-boyfriend was a drug trafficker.
Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's her ex-boyfriend. She's not responsible for it. And the link that you decided to make that she was just peddling drugs through the fucking mail, unsubstantiated claim.
And when she passed away, her current boyfriend
was
attempted cop killer.
Wow, you almost said that the cop killer narrative. You just say it. He was charged after the fact, but you're not going to say it because you know it hurts. This is the problem right here. Everything else, if you disagree on me with everything else, I want you guys to just listen to what I have to say right here more than anything else in this entire situation. Based on the wordage that Charlie Kirk is using, when she passed away, her current boyfriend was an attempted cop killer. That's the first time of the 3 times that he's referenced it that he said it in that way. He knows that if he says he was convicted, or rather he was charged after this situation, that he would lose credibility. He's intentionally misrepresenting the facts. Right here, and he knows it. He knows it. Because if he didn't know it, if he wasn't doing that, he would have worded this more correctly. But he knows that if he told the truth in this situation, that he would have been promoting a pure lie. He needed to make sure that he's like, oh, I'm telling you the truth technically. If you're a fucking English major,
know the facts. Free your mind. You might be a happier person. And if anyone dares try to burn down Louisville or says they will, they should be arrested and thrown in prison for at least a decade.
No, I disagree.
Thanks so much. God bless you guys, and God bless our country.
Yeah, God bless our country, Charlie. Charlie Kirk, you're a disgusting individual. I'll give you that. You're smart. You know how to word your lies. There's somebody saying that I'm not ACAB. I respect the police. I do. I respect police officers. I understand they put their lives on the line every day, but when you look at the facts of this situation, they're indefensible. Situations like this is why police departments get a bad rap. These are this whole situation, the whole timeline, where they claimed that Breonna Taylor had drugs going through the mail, and then it turned out that was a lie. The post office never even looked at or monitored it, and then they got a warrant, and they falsely got into the house, and then Kenneth Walker shot back at them. It doesn't add up. They're in street clothes. They don't have body cams. Where the fuck are the body cams? When you look at the facts, this isn't an issue of whether I like the police department or not. Just because I like the police department, just because I respect law enforcement, doesn't mean I'm going to support a fucking lie. Because it's wrong. It's fundamentally wrong. And you don't change things. You don't change things for the better by lying just to protect who you think should be right, who you like more than anything else. That's not how you operate. That's not how you operate. That's not how things get better. Things don't get better by supporting what you want to support. Life is about uncomfortable truths. And if you're a person that supports the police, like I am, then you need to learn to be uncomfortable. Because there's a lot of things that police do wrong, and we're never going to fix them unless we acknowledge it. I just want to reinforce before I end this one thing off again. One last time. I really want to reinforce this one last thing. This reframing here, okay? Breonna Taylor isn't a black woman. She's an American citizen. And an American citizen was killed by the peoples whose job it was, or the people whose job it is, to protect American citizens. Based on a false warrant with no body cam in street clothes. Everything points to, if you are a true person, a true strong individual, you would have done the same thing Kenneth Walker would do. You would have brandished your legally obtained firearm. You would have used your Second Amendment right to defend yourself from what you thought was an intrusion. And don't tell me otherwise. I don't care that the boyfriend shot first. I don't care. If I thought somebody was in... How is it that... Police officers shoot people for having knives solely on the idea that they're threatened, they're in endangerment of their life. They're afraid for their life. Why is it okay for a police officer to shoot an unarmed person when they're afraid for their life, but it's not okay for an American with a legally obtained firearm to shoot when they feel like their life's in danger? I don't care that they're police. If I was in this situation, I would have reacted the same way. So let's not have a double standard for the way that police interact, who should have higher standards than versus the way that citizens should react, because police should have higher standards, not lower standards. Let's keep that in mind here. It's not no one's fault. The warrant was based on a lie. The warrant was based on the fact that the post office said that they monitored the packages and that they saw that she had drugs going through her system. And after the fact, it came out that that was never a thing. The police said that they knew, and they didn't. There's no hard evidence to suggest that she actually was receiving drugs through the United States Postal Service. It was based on a lie. It was based on a lie. If they were here's the thing: if they were there to arrest Breonna Taylor, then why didn't they just catch her at her job? They were there. They weren't there for Breonna Taylor. They were there specifically for Jamal, whatever the fuck his name is, who they knew that he was somewhere else. And if they didn't know, then that's ridiculous that they weren't able to communicate that. All right, so here's the presentation of the file. I'll just read it to you guys. Breonna Taylor, 25, was fatally shot by police serving a search warrant for her Kentucky home. Search warrant for her home, not for her. They already knew where the guy, Jamal Walker, was, by the way. They had very, very heavily suggested they knew where he was and that they were closing in on him. So there really was a very low priority warrant. It's already been established. Louisville Metro Police Department detective filed a request for a no-knock search warrant of Breonna Taylor's home. That's the next step. This is going in time order, okay? The request came after police surveyed activities of Jamarcus Glover, Breonna's ex-boyfriend. Oh, Jamarcus Glover. I'm sorry that I said his name wrong before. An alleged drug trafficker known to police. Fine, that's fine. Maybe he was. Police said that Glover was using Breonna's address to mail drugs through the U.S. Postal Service, okay? Just keep sticking with me here. Shortly after midnight, police said that there were knocks made to the front door of Breonna Taylor's apartment, while Taylor and her boyfriend Kenneth Walker were asleep inside. Police used a battering ram to force open the door and said they were not. They were met with a gunshot. No body cam apparently, and not in police uniforms. Walker, a licensed gun owner, a man who had a licensed gun, called 911 asking for help, thinking there was a home invasion. I wonder if that supports the narrative that no-knock warrants are bullshit and that you shouldn't be a police officer with no body cam and fucking clothing, street clothing, barging into somebody's house. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you wouldn't allow a waiter at a restaurant to serve you if they're in street clothes, then why do we have different standards, lower standards for police officers?
911, Operator Harris, where's your emergency?
I don't know what's happening. Somebody kicked in the door and shot my girlfriend. Oh my God.
Police fired over 25 bullets. At least 8 of them struck Taylor, and she died. She was killed by police officers. Her, an American citizen, was killed by people whose only job is to protect American citizens, and they failed at that. That's a failure. I don't care. She's a failure. It's a failure. They failed their job. Kenneth Walker was taken into custody on charges of attempted murder. This is after the fact. Again, everything suggests that he was innocent, and he was just defending himself. Officer Miles Cosgrove and Brett Harkinson, or Hannickson, and Sergeant Jonathan Mattingly were placed on administrative resignment. Wow, that's unfortunate for them. Police found no drugs inside Taylor's apartment. So there's the first step that, like, oh, this apparently, unsubstantiated. But it gets better, guys. Don't worry. Don't worry, it gets better. Just don't worry, it gets so much better. A wake has been held at Spring Valley Funeral Home in New Albany, Indiana. Breonna, I don't want to say this incorrectly, but Breonna Taylor was a licensed EMT. So the woman had a job. Like, she wasn't even like she had a fucking thankless job. Does that not speak to her credibility as a human being? No, we're not done yet, bro. Just keep going. Walker was released from jail and into the home confinement due to coronavirus pandemic. Again, the man was arrested for standing his ground. Louisville Police Union president said, Ryan Nichols said the judge's decision to issue the warrant endangered the public. So right there, the police union president said that the warrant should have never been issued. So that should be like, oh, wow. So you believe the police when it comes to them not being responsible for killing the girl. But when it comes to the union president saying, hey, this warrant was unjustifiable in the first place, we're not talking about that, guys. We're not talking about that, right?
She was destined for greatness. I hate she had to go through this to prove it.
Attorneys filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the 3 officers on behalf of Breonna Taylor's mother, Tamika Palmer. Just read this with me. Read this with me. Please. We've established that they found no drugs. Now read this. We've established they found no drugs. The police union president said that the warrant should have never existed. And right here, Louisville Postal Inspector Tony Goodwin said his office did not inspect the packages delivered to Breonna Taylor's home. The claim that she was sending packages and collecting them through the USPS, how is that substantiated? If the USPS, which is run by the government, couldn't work with the police, who are run by the government, to substantiate the fucking claim that she had packages being delivered. This was a lie. The warrant was based off of a lie. And a woman was killed. A citizen of the United States was killed. This directly contradicts what the police stated in the affidavit to secure a no-knock warrant for the home. The police lied about the way that they secured the warrant. The police officers lied. I would imagine this is fucking illegal. But we don't care. The police did something illegal, but we don't care. That's okay. That's okay, guys. The police just did something illegal. Oh, wow. The police, oh, it's okay. You know? The guy with the legal firearm shooting back at somebody who he didn't know was a police officer, that's illegal, guys. That's wrong. But the police intentionally lying about the ways to derive a warrant for somebody's house, that's okay. According to the logic, that's the reality. It was a bullshit fucking warrant. And it was a low priority warrant at that. The charges against Kenneth Walker were temporarily dismissed and the FBI opened an investigation into Breonna Taylor's death.
It's the right thing to do. That's the only thing my son's been saying. It's not a black or white thing. It's a right or wrong thing. And
I'm going to tell you right now, if I was in his position, I would have done the same thing. I don't care.
He was raised.
The Louisville, Kentucky Metro Council unanimously passed a law that outlawed no-knock warrants. Well, there's some fucking guiding. There's a silver lining. It just took somebody dying and it luckily being covered as national news. How long ago did this even happen? March. Let's watch that again. Just kind of like absorb what we just saw there. The Louisville, Kentucky Metro Council unanimously passed a law that outlaws no-knock warrants and requires body cameras to be turned off. Oh, and now it requires body cameras to be turned on during and after every search. It's so convenient that the police, the only thing that would have held the police accountable, didn't exist. It's so convenient that there's no body cam footage. That's what I'm saying. There should be no way. It doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you fall on, Democrat, Republican. At the very least, you should say, this law is not right and she was unjustifiably killed. Even if you're in defense of the police, she didn't deserve it. The police lied. They didn't have any transparency. There's no accountability. Cameras would have been accountability. It doesn't exist. You should instantly lose your job as a police officer and all of your benefits if your body cam is covered or turned off at any time. A body camera is something that should protect both the police officer and the person committing whatever crime. You have a body cam on, easy evidence to justify what you're doing. He gets fired from the police. I don't care. That's it. Justice, huh? You know who I'm more angry about? The police who lied to get the warrant. And the judge who signed off on it. Why aren't they, like, not for nothing, not to give the police, or rather the grunt, like the ground workers, not to give them a benefit of the doubt, but the doubt that they were complicit in the lying to get this warrant, right? We don't think that they were complicit, I don't think. I'm pretty sure it's the people in charge who were just trying to manipulate the situation to do whatever they want.